أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to class number 34 of International Talimul-Qur'an Academy, Nazirah syllabus level 1. Today is Tuesday, 22nd of November 2022. Let's start our class as usual with our daily prayers, and I will now select a student. I have GB3102. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Sorry, this is GB2442. Okay. Please, can you recite Dawood?
Acha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected.
And Tasmiyah.
Acha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful.
Okay, Itazaz, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Itazaz. Please, can you start over because we should recite Dawood and Tasmiyah and then the prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the rejected. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. Rabbi zidni ilma. Oh my Lord, increase me in knowledge.
Jazakallah. That was well done. Okay. So let's go through our class etiquettes. So I hope all of you have arrived early. I can see 88 of you are here for the beginning of the class, but normally we have more than 100 students. So there's some people who have not yet managed to join us. So I want to make sure that you have all done wuzu, you're wearing clean clothes, you've covered your head, you're sitting in a quiet place away from any distraction, that you have your parent present as well in case there are any important messages. And also, please, everybody, by now you should be using your correct ID. Okay. And we're going to go on now to our class schedule. So remember today that we are going to go over our rule in focus, and our rule about waqf, and waqf means pausing or stopping. And this is from our textbook that we use, Talimul-Qur'an, page 85. Please refer to that textbook, and we will do some practice, and then we will be sent to our breakout rooms where we will do our practice of the recitation of Surah Al-Ma'idah, verses 60 to 64, and I want you to continue to practice those after the class as well. And that's your homework. And then at 5:45, inshallah, we will have our concluding dua and assembly, and I want you to all try and stay for that. And if we look at so your evening work is to recite and read and get familiar with verses 65, 66, and 67 of Surah Al-Ma'idah, okay? We are now going to move on to our rule today. So as I said, today we're going to talk about waqf, and waqf means to stop or pause. And when we are reciting the Holy Quran and we pause at the end of a sentence or a verse, to take a breath, or even if we pause in the middle of a verse and we have to take a breath, then we must follow the rules of waqf, okay? We must follow the rules of stopping or pausing. And there are some rules that we need to be aware of. Today we are going to go through rules 1, 2, and 3. So let's start with rule 1. First of all, I'm going to show you what I mean by the end of the verse, okay? So here you can see that I've highlighted the end of the verse. Yeah, you will all recognize this symbol here at the end of the verse. Often, sometimes it is a circle, sometimes it is a square, sometimes it's another symbol, and it will have the number of the verse here. So here, for example, is verse number 52 of Surah Al-Ma'idah. Okay, so this is what I mean when I say at the end of the verse, we pause or we stop. But also, if we stop or pause to take a breath, because we run out of breath if the verse is very long. For example, this verse is 1, 2, 3, about 3.5, 4 lines long. It's quite a long verse. So we might run out of breath. And if that happens, then we still have to follow the rule of waqf. Okay? So let's look at rule number 1, for example. And here you will see that if your verse ends in fatha, yes, so there you can see, I'm just going to select my highlight. So there you can see on this right-hand side of the screen that this word is ذَلِكَ, ذَلِكَ. So if we were going to continue reading this verse and this word, and we were not going to stop at all because we still had lots of breath left, then we will just carry on. ذَلِكَ. So if we were going to continue reading this word, we will continue ذَلِكَ. Yes, because kaf at the end of this word is maftu. It has fatha. It's a short stroke. So we just carry on with one count and we don't need to worry. But if we pause, so if we are at the end of the verse, yeah, so after the word here on the right, you see the symbol that you are coming to the end of the verse, then what do you need to do? Well, in this case, fatha will change into sukoon, okay? So you can see the maftu kaf on the right changes here on the left. You'll see the kaf is now got sukoon on it. Yes, it's kaf sakin. So as a result, you have to join the letter that comes before it to the kaf. So instead of reciting dhalika, you will now recite dhalik, dhalik, okay? So this is a simple rule and most of you know this rule. I'm sure, inshallah, that this is something that you are already familiar with. Okay, let's go to the next rule. Again, I hope this is revision for you and it's just that you're not familiar with the terms, but you know the rule, okay? So let's look now. I want all of you to be saying this to me with your mics off at home. What is the stroke that is underneath the meme? What is this stroke called? If you said kasra, you're correct. And remember last week we were doing wawleen, so this is a very good example of that, where you have ya maftu ya followed by waw sakin. So you're going to say yo, yo, 2 counts. And then maksur meme. So this will be short vowel and short stroke and only 1 count. Yawmi, yawmi. Okay. And again, just like fatha, kasra will change into sukoon. All right. So here we go. And because the meme now has changed from meme maksur to meme sakin or sukoon, then you are just going to join everything up together because before that you have waw sakin as well. Yawm, yawm. Okay. And let's go to the last one. Here, I want you all to be saying this at home. What is the symbol, the stroke above the dal? What is the symbol above the dal? If you said dhamma, you are correct. And how are we going to recite this? All of this is short, okay? Na'budu, na'budu. But if it is at the end of the verse, then dhamma will change to, you guessed it, sukoon. Okay, so now we are going to again join up this letter before the sukoon, before the sakin letter. We look at the letter that has a stroke and we're going to join it. Na'bud, na'bud. Okay, and remember dal is a qalqala, so that's why I made that little jerk. na'bud. Okay, and those are the 3 rules. Now we will quickly just go over some examples. So let's go to this first one again, where I showed you the end of the verse. And so we would be reciting this word if we were going to continue, and if it didn't have the end of the verse after it, and we were just going to continue, then we will continue. قوم الظالمين, right? I hope all of you are nodding your heads yes. But because it's the end of the verse, what's going to happen to this maftu noon? What's going to happen? The fatha will change into the skoon, right? So it changes into the skoon. And now we will recite قوم الظالمين. قوم الظالمين. Yes, because it has changed into sakin noon, and so we just join everything up together. Let's go to the next example. Here you can see that the ha of Allah has a dhamma above it. Yes, it's madmoom. But if we ran out of breath and we had to pause, we have to follow the rule, right? So let's see what that was. The dhamma changes into sukoon again, okay? Dhamma changes into sukoon. So instead of Allahu, Allahu, what will we now recite? I hope all of you are saying this out loud. I hope you don't really need me to practice with you. Allah, Allah, yes? So if we ran out of breath, fa'asallah, okay? And then we need to go back and we need to read again. Fa'asallahu an ya'tiya, okay? All right, let's go to the next one. That is a dhamma as well. So we already know what we're going to do for dhamma and also fatha. Here we go. We have found one that is kasra. Billahi, billahi. So here you can see the ha of Allah has got a kasra underneath it. Billahi. So if I had lots of breath and I was continuing to read the verse, I would not need to stop. I would just carry on reading billahi. But if I had run out of breath, what do I need to do? Let's check our rule book. Look at this. Kasra will change into sukoon. Okay? Kasra changes into sukoon. So we imagine that there is sukoon above the ha. It will become ha sakin, and we just join the mushaddad lam to it. Billah, billah. Okay, I think we can do one more. So let's go here. Here at the top of your screen, you'll see alladhina, alladhina. So again, we see that this stroke above the noon is fatha. So let's go back to our rules. What happens to fatha? Fatha will change into sukoon. Okay, so fatha changes into sukoon. That means we will recite alladhin. Oh, in this case, we have maksur hamza. So we can say illadhin. Okay. So I hope that this was just a revision for all of you, because I know that all of you have, mashallah, already recited Holy Quran. I hope that this rule was an easy one. Inshallah, towards the as we go on the days of the week this week, you will learn a little bit more tricky rules, but don't worry, you have got the foundation correct, and inshallah you will carry on and you will understand everything. Okay, if I could please request that we are placed into our breakout rooms. Jazakumullah.